All right, let's dive straight into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking the hidden and, let's be honest, often incredibly frustrating costs of technical recruiting. Because we have all been there, right? You're staring at an absolute mountain of resumes, just wondering why the process of hiring feels so much harder than the actual job you're hiring for. So we are going to look at a fundamental shift today. How to completely move away from buying mere candidate volume and instead start investing in verified capability. Because in today's fast-paced tech landscape, making the wrong hire, or honestly, even just a slow hire, is a luxury literally no business can afford. When that happens, you lose months of momentum, you burn out your existing team, and your product roadmap, it just stalls entirely. We've got to start with a massive pain point that virtually every hiring manager and founder has felt deep in their bones. You're spending thousands, maybe tens of thousands, on recruitment fees. You're juggling external agencies, endlessly refreshing job portals, tapping into back-channel networks. But take a step back and ask yourself this. What are you actually paying for? Are you paying for proven, ready-to-go talent that can step in on day one and actually do the job? Or are you really just paying someone to run a basic keyword search? Because, as we'll see, those are two drastically different things with drastically different impacts on your business. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the true cost of hiring. Okay, the traditional recruitment funnel is exhausting just to think about, let alone actually execute. First, you engage an agency, then they do a search, they screen endless resumes just to create a shortlist. And then what? Then you are stuck doing the technical interviews, running separate assessments, coordinating background checks. You're forced to navigate this highly fragmented, frustrating gauntlet. And here's the real kicker. This entire process just eats up massive amounts of your time, your engineering team's precious bandwidth, and your budget, all before you have even a shred of confidence that the candidate can actually do the work. Basically, you are doing all the heavy lifting. And that brings us to a pretty harsh reality about this whole ecosystem. Even after paying those hefty upfront recruitment fees just to get through that funnel, you're still left to determine if the candidate can solve real business problems on your own dime and on your own time. Just think about that for a second. The traditional agency, they get paid regardless of whether the candidate can actually code a scalable backend or not. The fee you paid guaranteed a search. It absolutely did not guarantee capability. Which leads us right into Section 2, finding versus verifying talent. We have all seen these so-called impressive resumes. You know the ones. They land on your desk loaded with 10 different certifications, a total alphabet soup of programming languages, and these super prestigious company names. We've all met the infamous resume rock star who lists 45 different technologies but suddenly can't code a basic loop when you put them in front of a keyboard. The source material makes this incredibly clear. These traits are often just false signals. They absolutely do not guarantee practical capability. A beautiful list of keywords on a PDF doesn't mean the person can write clean code or solve a complex architecture problem under intense pressure. Let's break this down with a couple of specific roles to see what we really mean here. You don't just need a candidate who can ace a multiple-choice textbook quiz, right? If you're hiring a machine learning engineer, you don't just need theoretical knowledge. You need a practitioner who can work with real, messy data sets, deploy actual models into production, and continuously optimize them. Same goes for a software engineer. You need someone who can truly collaborate across teams, jump headfirst into a messy code base, and actually build, solve, and deliver project outcomes. You need tangible action and proven results, not just academic theory. So, this illustrates the exact paradigm shift we absolutely need to make. We have to move away from collecting a chaotic, massive pile of candidate resumes, which, let's face it, is essentially just paying for more noise. Instead, we need to move toward verified, shielded capability. More resumes do not equal better candidates. They literally just equal more administrative work for your team. Your business doesn't need hundreds of untested profiles flooding your inbox. It needs the exact right expert, and it needs them ready to execute right now. All right, let's look at the solution in Section 3, the ExpertOnHire advantage. So how do we actually fix this broken system? Well, ExpertOnHire changes the approach entirely by replacing guesswork with rigorous verification. Instead of leaning on manual, scattershot searches, they use AI-assisted talent matching to instantly find precise fits based on deep capability data, not just keywords. Then they conduct portfolio-based evaluations to see the actual work candidates have shipped out there in the real world. And this is all backed up by practical skill validation and rigorous structured technical assessments designed by experts. They aren't just finding people, they are rigorously pressure testing technical capability before the candidate ever even makes it to your calendar. What this fundamentally means for your day-to-day operations is dramatically less recruitment complexity. Instead of juggling external agencies, bothering your internal recruiters, pulling your senior engineers off their core projects to do technical interviews, paying for separate assessment platforms, running background checks, everything is centralized. The entire process just collapses into one single cohesive platform built entirely around your specific talent requirement. It literally takes a highly fragmented multi-vendor headache and turns it into a single, hyper-focused, streamlined process. Moving right along to Section 4, a streamlined hiring journey. Think back to that traditional pipeline we were discussing earlier. This is the old way, and honestly, it's entirely backward. You pay these hefty fees up front just to initiate a search. Then you spend hours manually screening, you conduct exhausting interviews, and only then, at the very end, do you try to verify if they're actually any good, right before you officially hire them. The risk is placed entirely on your shoulders at the absolute end of a ridiculously expensive and time-consuming process. Now, compare that backward model to the Expert-on-Hire approach. This completely flips the script. It dramatically condenses the timeline, saving you literally weeks or even months of wasted effort. You start simply with your core business need. From there, the platform instantly matches you using AI, validates the candidate's capability practically and rigorously, and boom, you move straight to hiring and delivering. It connects verified technical talent directly to your business outcomes, completely removing all those bloated, risky middle steps that used to slow you down. And finally, Section 5, creating real business value. This entire shift we're talking about, it isn't just about saving your HR department a little bit of administrative time. This is about fundamentally protecting your bottom line. When we talk about hiring costs, that initial recruiter fee is practically a distraction. We have to look at the hidden costs, the endless interview coordination, the massive drain on expensive management time, the devastating impact of a delayed product launch. Just think about the sheer cost of making a poor hiring decision, suffering through months of bad code only to have to replace that hire and repeat the whole vicious cycle. It kills your execution speed. A poor technical hire costs your company exponentially more than any recruiter fee ever did. Let's look at how this applies to a couple of different environments. For scrappy startups and SMEs, budgets are incredibly tight. Engineering teams are small, and projects move at breakneck speed. In this world, a bad technical hire isn't just an inconvenience, right? It can literally be fatal to the company's momentum and runway. So for these fast-moving businesses, the Expert-on-Hire model means finding the exact right expert quickly, validating them with zero doubt, and getting straight to building and growing the business. You get to completely bypass a bloated recruitment process that you simply don't have the time or capital to manage. On the other end of the spectrum, for large enterprises, the challenge is a bit different. They need to scale, and they need to do it rapidly, but they absolutely must scale without diluting the quality of their engineering teams. This model provides enterprises with a highly structured, repeatable approach, and that word repeatable is absolutely key here. It allows them to scale their technical hiring immensely across multiple departments without ever sacrificing technical consistency or standards. It takes the sprawling, chaotic complexity of a massive enterprise recruitment apparatus and finally standardizes it. It all boils down to a core philosophy from our source material that I think perfectly captures this whole paradigm shift. The objective is not simply to spend less. The objective is to create more value from every hiring decision. Ultimately, the goal isn't just to shave a few percentage points off your recruitment costs. It is to strategically build technical teams that are genuinely capable of executing faster, reducing systemic risk, and delivering real, tangible business outcomes from day one. So ask yourself right now as you evaluate your own organization's roadmap, is your current hiring process actually giving you true, unwavering confidence in your candidates? Or are you really just paying for a massive volume of noise, filtering through false signals, and crossing your fingers during that final technical interview, just hoping for the best? It is time to change the paradigm. Stop paying for recruitment noise. Start hiring verified capability and transform your technical recruitment from a costly, frustrating bottleneck into a true strategic advantage. The only question left to ask yourself is this: how many more crucial deadlines are you willing to miss before you finally stop paying for the search and start paying for the solution?